Robert Harrison sat in the grand lobby of Harrison Industries, his eyes scanning the morning newspaper. At 42, he'd built an empire through determination and long hours. His tailored charcoal suit and polished shoes reflected a life of precision and control. The marble floors gleamed under crystal chandeliers. Everything in Robert's world had its place, its purpose. He preferred order, predictability. The newspaper rustled as he turned the page, absorbed in quarterly reports and market trends. A small voice broke through his concentration. "Excuse me, sir." Robert glanced up. A little girl stood before him, perhaps 4 years old, wearing a red velvet dress with a white lace trim. Her blonde hair was pulled into pigtails with matching red bows. She held a cream-colored envelope in her tiny hands. "Can you read this letter?" she asked, her voice soft but earnest. "It's very important." Robert's first instinct was to look around for a parent. The lobby was busy with employees hurrying to meetings, but no one seemed to be looking for a lost child. He set down his newspaper. "Where's your mother, sweetheart?" he asked, his voice gentler than he expected. "She's with the angels now," the girl said simply. "Grandma says she's watching over me." Something in Robert's chest tightened. He recognized that matter-of-fact tone children use when they've had to grow up too quickly. "I see," he said quietly. "And your father?" "He works here." "In the big building, but I don't see him very much." She extended the envelope toward him again. "Please, it's really, really important." Robert took the letter carefully. His name was written on the front in a child's careful, shaky handwriting, to Mr. Robert Harrison. Inside, he found a single sheet of paper. The writing was labored, some letters backwards, others too large. "Dear Mr. Robert Harrison, my name is Emma. I am 4.5. My daddy works for you. He is very sad all the time now. Mommy went to heaven last year. Daddy says he has to work to take care of me. But I miss him. He comes home when I am sleeping. He leaves before I wake up. Grandma says he is doing his best. I have something wrong with my heart. The doctors say I need an operation soon. I am scared. I want my daddy to be there. Can you please let him come home sometimes? I promise I will be very good. Thank you, Emma." Robert read the letter 3 times. Each time the words hit harder. He looked at Emma, who was watching him with enormous blue eyes filled with hope. "Your daddy." "What's his name, Emma?" "Thomas Mitchell." "He works with computers." Robert knew the name. Thomas Mitchell was one of his most dedicated employees, always the first to arrive and last to leave. Robert had noticed him lately, looking exhausted, but had attributed it to dedication. He'd never asked why. "Emma," Robert said slowly, folding the letter carefully. "This is the most important letter anyone has ever given me." Her face brightened. "Really? Really?" Robert stood up, suddenly feeling that his expensive suit and impressive office meant nothing compared to what this child needed. "Would you like to see your daddy right now?" Emma nodded eagerly, her red bows bouncing. Robert called his assistant. "Find Thomas Mitchell immediately. Bring him to my office. It's urgent." As they walked to the elevator, Emma slipped her small hand into his. The gesture was so trusting, so innocent, that Robert felt something shift inside him. When had he last held his own daughter's hand like this? When had he last been home for dinner? In his office, Emma sat in one of the large leather chairs, her feet dangling far from the floor. Robert sat across from her, and they waited together. When Thomas Mitchell arrived, his face was pale with worry. "Mr. Harrison, I was told it was urgent." "Is everything—" He stopped. Emma had already jumped from the chair and was running toward him. "Daddy!" Thomas caught her, confusion and joy mixing on his face. "Emma, what are you doing here? Where's Grandma?" "I came to give Mr. Harrison a letter," she said proudly. Thomas looked at Robert, fear creeping into his expression. "Sir, I'm so sorry. My mother must have fallen asleep. Emma shouldn't have—" "Please sit down," Robert said quietly. Thomas sat, holding Emma close, waiting for what he clearly expected to be bad news. Robert handed him the letter. "Your daughter wrote to me. I think you should read it." As Thomas read, his hands began to shake. When he finished, tears were streaming down his face. He buried his face in Emma's hair. "I'm sorry, baby. I'm so sorry. I didn't know you felt this way. I thought I was doing the right thing." Robert stood and walked to the window, giving them a moment. He thought about his own children, teenagers now who he barely knew anymore. He thought about all the school plays missed, the dinners skipped, the bedtime stories left unread. "Thomas," he said, turning back, "how long has Emma been sick?" "6 months. She needs heart surgery next month. The medical bills, that's why I've been working so much overtime. But I realize now," his voice broke, "what good is paying for her to live if I'm not there for her life?" Robert made a decision. It was the easiest decision he'd made in years. "You're taking a leave of absence, paid, starting today. You'll be with Emma for her surgery and recovery. As long as she needs you." Thomas stared at him. "Sir, I can't." "The company policy. I'm the CEO. I can change any policy I want." Robert smiled. "And I'm making another change. Starting next month, all employees with sick family members get extended paid leave. We're also setting up a fund to help with medical expenses." Emma looked between them, sensing something important was happening. "Mr. Harrison?" she said softly. "Yes, Emma?" "Thank you for reading my letter." Robert knelt down to her level, something he hadn't done in years. "Thank you for writing it. You're a very brave little girl. And you know what? Your letter didn't just help your daddy, it helped me too." That evening, Robert left his office at 5 o'clock for the first time in months. He went home and found his own children in their rooms, surprised to see him before midnight. Emma's letter stayed on his desk, a reminder that sometimes the most important business isn't business at all. 3 months later, Emma's surgery was successful. Robert visited her in the hospital, bringing flowers and a teddy bear. She was pale but smiling. "I knew you were a good man," she whispered. Robert squeezed her hand gently. "You taught me how to be one."